Hi, it's Jez here from nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So today I'm going to bring you the card I made for the Project Share blog hop, which as you're watching this is happening now. So that's the four of us. That's me and my friend Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting, Verity from Stamping with Inky Butterfly, and Heather from Stamp with Nelly. And they're all on YouTube, so they should be having videos out about now. And our theme this month is simple stamping, and I am making a card inspired by this card here. So Ed gave me this card for Valentine's Day and I thought it was beautiful, and as soon as I saw it I thought I could do something like that probably. So I'm going to give it a whirl. I haven't practiced, so I'm just gonna wing it really. So I quite like the fact that it's a square card, so I'm going to do a square card for a change. So I'm going to use some old bit of grid paper. So I always, when it gets a bit mucky, I save my grid paper. So I'm going to just cut it down a bit. So if I'm going to do a square card, I'm going to do it so that I can make one out of a piece of A4. So I'm going to make it, if I make it 5.5 squared, then I don't have to mess around with doing two different measurements. So 5.5. So that means we need to be 11 inches long. If I cut this at 5.5, that's replicating what I would do on a piece of A4 cardstock, but for the template that I'm making I just need half of it. So this just saved me some difficult maths of working out what half of 5.5 inches is. So that's all going back in my drawer. I've got a little drawer with all my bits of old grid mats. So I'm going to fold it in half. So these make good templates as well for what I'm planning on doing, because they're not very it's not that thick. So I'm gonna kind of draw a heart. I'm gonna do it freehand. So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna go up, and right, that's arched too much, Jez, really. I don't want it to be like that, so I want it to come down here. Might be better to do it up from the, and then around like that. I think that's about what I want. Yeah. So I'm going to just cut that now. This is how I did my Valentine's card, except I ripped it, but I'm cutting this one. Just to be different. You could rip. I'm cutting it. Not necessarily that well, but there we go. There we go. So now I've got a heart shaped. That's not too bad, but it's the aperture that we want. We want that. And I may have made it slightly too big because it doesn't give you much gap around, but that's how I've done it. So now I need a bit of cardstock. So I'm going to take a bit of cardstock and I'm going to tape this down because I don't want it to move. So I'm going to cut this in half. Proper making this up as I go along. Because I'll probably have this as a separate panel on. So I am going to cut this in half. So I'll have a little bit around the edges. Obviously, if you've got American size cardstock, you won't. It will be 5.5. But we've got a little bit of leeway here in the UK. So I can put that down on there. And I'm going to take some washi tape to tape it down in place. So I have oodles of washi tape. Let's try a thicker one actually. So Stampin' Up used to sell washi tape, and we used to sell it in like packs of like 5. And so you buy a pack and you got like 5 of them. And so yeah, got loads. Used to find that probably only 1 or 2 I liked. So stick that down. Right, so it doesn't matter if it's squiff because I'm going to trim it down to fit my card base anyway. In hindsight, maybe making it slightly smaller would have been a little bit better, but hey ho. Done now. Not really much I can do about that. And there. And I'm sticking it to my grid paper as well. So I'm just going to put down the sides as well. It's all in the prep. I managed to stick that to itself down there. There we go. There we are. So there we are. That's my template. So this, I did think of using Wildflower Path. I thought that was perfect for it. So I thought I might start with that, and I can bring in other floral designs as well. So I'm going to get these all mounted up. So I've got them all mounted, and I also thought I'd use these 2 leaves as well, maybe in the background. And I've got painted poppies as well. Not sure if I'm going to use those, but definitely getting them sort of ready. And so I'm sort of was thinking about what colour I wanted to use, and I'm thinking maybe going for something a little bit spring-like and a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go for a green I don't normally use. I thought I might go for Pear Pizzazz, and I think I want more than one green, so maybe I'll go for Granny Apple Green as well. Thought they might be quite nice, and maybe some soft sea foam. So very light greens. Thought they might work quite well. So let's get stamping. So let's have, and in the picture it sort of goes round a little bit, so I thought I might sort of do that. So have that one going around that way, and then I might, so we're getting the frame. Let's put Granny Apple Green. Going around that side of the heart. So we've got a little bit of shaping going on there. I'm going to now stamp the flowers on those so that I don't forget. So those are the 2-step ones, and that is the one that's sort of on its own. So we're going for spring-like colours. I do like the colours in this, sort of reminding me of Blackberry Bliss and Rich Raspberry, which I do love. So I'm going to bring those in. I proper didn't think about this before I started filming. And maybe a bit of polished pink and fresh freesia as well. I think they're sort of the colours in it. There's a bit of yellow going on there. So I might bring the yellow in later. So let's do Rich Raspberry. So I'm going to do, it's Blackberry Bliss, don't listen to me. So I'm going to do Blackberry Bliss, the darker one first on there, and then I need a bit of scrap so that I can stamp off and do this one over that. Can't see a thing, I don't know why I haven't got my glasses on. There we go, first flower done, like it. Then I might do polished pink on this one. Forgotten kind of how this goes. I think this one is a bit random. I might do it a couple of times on that. There we go. So that's my first one done. I quite like the idea of, I think that will curl round quite nicely up there. So let's bring in soft sea foam for a little subtle bit of this going round the top. Yep. And I could have it coming in at other points as well. And then this one, so I might do some stamping off. So I might take Granny Apple Green, stamp it off and have that coming up there. So we've got a little bit of emphasis there on the shape of that. Yeah, quite happy with the way that is looking. So need some more filling in this middle section. So need a few more sort of flowers and things. We've got sort of little dragonflies and bees going on there as well. So I could put a few of those in. I'm just looking at my stamp set, so I'll have a think about that in a sec, but we need some more florals going on. So let's have this one going up there, and then we'll have this granny apple green, no, pear pizzazz. So I'm alternating. So I think this stamp set's just brilliant, this wildflower path one, because you can do so much with it, and a few colours, and you make a work of art, really. So let's have fresh freesia on this one. Yeah, let's give it a clean, Jess. I was going to see if I could get away without cleaning it, but I can't really. That's better because it's going into a lighter colour. So I'll have this going over here. There we go, liking that. And then I'm going to use rich raspberry on the other side. So this has been in Blackberry Bliss. I might get away with this one. So I'll have this one on there. And then stamping off. And then going over. Quite similar there, the rich raspberry and Blackberry Bliss, but I think that's okay. We have a few flowers in here that are sort of standalone. I might put a few of those in. So we got that one, and we got that one, and we got that one, and got a bit of leaf there. So let's use a few of those. And then I can introduce some other colours to fill these gaps in. So why don't I bring in some pale papaya. And there. Got soft succulent. Put some leaves and flowers actually, so I want a flower for that, and I could maybe use this leaf with it. So maybe a nice yellow daffodil delight. Not sure there's such a thing as a nice yellow. It's not my favourite colour, but put that put in a few. Going for the power of 3 is my thoughts. Making that. So I've used that, I've got this tiny little one there as well. Maybe a little bit of red in there, bit of purpley. Why don't I try Highland Heather? Bit of Highland Heather. Maybe put that on this bit of green. I feel we need something up there. I could put a bit of dottage, a few random dots. This has got some heat embossing as well in it, well, foiled, but I wasn't going to do that. I was going to keep to simple stamping, so we're just stamping. Some little dots. They're too close together. I want fine dots. I'm using loads of stamp sets. I do apologise there. That's got fine dots. So it's like simple stamping with practically every stamp I own, it would seem. So quite like this one. So I might do some dots around. Shall I bring in garden old olive? Old olive. I think evening evergreen will be a bit too dark. So I might do some stamping off. So we've got the different generations of ink coming out here. Quite like the second generation of this. Yeah, I think what's important is to make sure that you've got sort of the edges of the shape stamped as much as possible, so there is a proper edge around it to give that impression of the shape. Yeah, that's good. So now I'm thinking about butterflies, dragonflies. Let me check my stamp sets. So I've got this cluster of butterflies here from Dragonfly Garden, and when I got it out, actually that would have been quite lovely. Could have kept it as one colour. So I'm using some Stampin' Right marker because I think it'd be quite nice if the butterflies were different colours. So I've got Blackberry Bliss, Highland Heather and Rich Raspberry. So I'm gonna just colour these. And I don't need to stamp them much. I might stamp and stamp off with them. So there we go. I'm going to give it a huff. I think we need a bit in the middle here. And a bit up here. And I like threes, so let's do another one. Let's have going up there and maybe coming down here a little bit. There we go. I think that might be enough. So let's have a bit of a reveal and see. Fingers crossed that this is not a complete disaster. So let's pull these off. So here we are. Are we ready for the big reveal? You'll notice that some of the washi tape did pull up some of the cardstock. It doesn't matter because we're going to trim it down. And I've got plastic drawers to the side of me, and I just stick it on that to use in the future. But we pull that up, and there we have a lovely heart. That worked quite well, I think. So as you can see, it's the getting your stamp in around the edges that is really important to do. I did think about gently using some blending brushes to bring some ink in, but I don't think it needed it because I went round the edges. So I'm going to trim this down to fit my card, and that will get rid of some of those edges. I'm going to get this straight. I did more or less have it on there straight, so I'm going to trim down so that sort of ripped edges off. There we go. So now, 5.5 is going to be the size of my card base. So I'm going to mat it. So I'm going to come down there to 5.25. I think that works quite nicely. So this needs to be trimmed down to 5.25 as well. So that's 5.25. So we are taking we're taking about 1/2 inch off. So if we go 1/4 on this side, that gets rid of that, and 2 1/4 on this side. Yeah, that takes us to 5.25. We should hopefully be nicely centered like that. So that's it. Lovely. So I'm going to get a piece of thick Whisper White. It's not Whisper White at all. It's basic white. So I'm going to cut that at 5.5. If you were in the States, you would now just fold it in half, but in the UK we need to cut this down to 11. because our cardstock's longer. There we go. And then I'm going to score it at 5.5 to get my card base. I could have made this, I could have picked out one of the colours of the flowers, but I decided to keep it tone on tone and keep it just white. I may of course change my mind, as I'm apt to do. So that will mat quite nicely on there, keeping it really, really simple. I might just cut a Blackberry Bliss card base. No, I'm going to leave it at that. Actually, I might see what a pop of colour looks like. So I've just got a few scraps here, just to sort of have a little look. But if I just put a little bit of pop of colour behind there, might actually add something to it. So that's Blackberry Bliss. And that's Old Olive. Yeah, I think we might go Blackberry Bliss. Suddenly thinking, is it Rich Raspberry? Got it out of the Blackberry Bliss back. So yeah, so I'm going to just cut that to size. There we are. Turns out it was Rich Raspberry. I'd obviously put my Rich Raspberry scraps in with my Blackberry Bliss, like a Burke. So I have cut this to 5 3/8. So that's 5.5 squared. This is 1/8 of an inch shorter and thinner. So that gives us just a little sort of 1/16 all the way around. And then this is 5 1/4. So we've got another 1/16 all the way around. So it is just a teeny tiny little rim round, but I think that finishes it off and makes it really pop nicely. So I like that plain, but then that's it, just stepped up that little bit. So you could leave it if you wanted to, but I'm liking that. And then I was deciding whether or not I wanted to add a little sentiment. The original card didn't have one, and I'm actually not sure who I'd send that to and for what reason. And so you could easily pop a little sentiment on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this all together and then kind of show you some ideas for a sentiment, but I'm not actually going to stick one on because I don't know at this stage. I think the card could be used for lots and lots of occasions. You could send it as a Valentine's card like Ed did me. Could be an anniversary card. It is our anniversary next month. That would be good. I could give it to him next month and see if he notices that it's almost identical to the card he gave me for Valentine's Day. I'm sure he will, because I think he does put thought into my cards. There we go. And then we'll just stick that one on there. And that's it, just ink, stamp and paper. Don't have to be any more elaborate than that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other simple stamping ideas Heather, Verity and Jill have come up with. So I do hope you pop round the blog hop, which is linked down below, and go and check out their videos as well. Spread a little crafty love. There we go. So that is my inspiration, and that is the card I made. So I'm just gonna stamp a sentiment just to sort of see what one might look like. Right, I haven't got happy anniversary, which is what I think I really need if I'm going to give this to Ed. But I had a little look round my desk and I found this. So my thoughts are that I would just put something on the edge like that. I'd probably go for something just a little bit longer, narrow and long, as opposed to round and fat. But that's well, it's oval in it. It's not round and fat. That's more me. So yeah, that's just my little idea of how you could finish it off if you wanted to. So hope that's given you some ideas. You know, really simple, just rip or cut paper like that to make your template, and just put a load of stamps in. You could use different shape stamps. If you've only got one stamp set, there's nothing to stop you stamping over with the, you know, with different images. It could be shapes, so it's sort of abstract. So yeah, I've got more ideas now coming in my head of doing it with a different image in the background as well. You can make it different shapes. So yeah, and look out for inspiration in your card making and any other craft that you have. You know, as soon as I got that, I went, I want to make that, and there it is. Okay, I'm waffling now. Do apologise. So yeah, link down below to the stamp sets that I've used and the inks and the card, and I will link to my blog, which will take you on the blog hop, so you can go and see what everybody else has done. Okay, bye for now.